Hey guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining today. Let's just make sure everything is working correctly here. Let's see. Make sure everything is sounding okay. The lights look good. Let's make sure the sound is working right. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's turn on some lighting here. There we go. A little bit better so you can see my ugly mug. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. I'm just so happy to be here on a Wednesday afternoon. It's 2:30 in the afternoon here in Sri Lanka. I'm going to say hi to our friends in Oceania and Europe. This vlog, specifically timed for you guys to stream when you are awake and available. I want to say welcome to the channel to my new subscribers. I'm Sri Lankan Sammy, a Canadian Sri Lankan citizen, semi-retired in Sri Lanka, working online in South Korea. Join me, why don't you, when we go on this adventure to figure out how can we all be happy in life? What are our goals? What do we want to do? And I had a previous channel and I moved to this new channel because of the algorithm. Okay. What I want to do is I want to get specifically talking about this last stage of my life. I'm 56 years old. I'm single, no kids. I'm divorced 20 years. I'm debt free. I have a substantial amount saved. I just want to save a little bit more before I retire in 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, fully retired. And I'm just looking at my stock portfolio today. I can't believe the Sri Lankan stock market is up 700 points in less than a week. It is in record territory. The last 11 months have been insane. Oh, and I did fix the power problem I was having. It was my UPS. There's something going on with the UPS, so I had a backup UPS, which is a smaller unit, which is just powering the screen and the modem. The laptop doesn't need power because it has a battery. So this is just not to prolong the power so that I can work for an hour. No, it's when my electricity in the house switches from the mains to the solar, there's a little, and that sometimes causes the power to cut out. So, yeah. Anyway, the stock market is doing really well. I am up 80% in 11 months. 80%. And I know, Darren, you always say it can't keep going, even if there's a correction of 50%. I have a stop loss of 10%. So every couple of days, every week, I go in and I raise the stop loss to 10% below what the trading is right now. But my shares don't ever drop. Every day the shares go up. I haven't had a negative day other than, there are certain days where there's profit taking when we hit those, but it's only for one day. So that's why I do a 10%, because the profit taking just recovers the next day. There was only one day where there was a huge correction, and within 2 days it recovered. So I'm not worried about that. So what we're going to talk about is how I got here, like the mistakes I made that got me to this point. The stages of my life that got me to here. Okay. So maybe you guys can ask questions and comment, right? How I got here, what I did to get here, the mistakes I made, the things I did to correct those mistakes, and the plans for the future. The plans being what I'm going to do to get to that retirement. So the midweek podcast is just like a a connection with you guys to say hi, touch base, chat about what has happened this week, what's going to happen this week, what vlogs I'm going to be doing. The main vlog is always on Sunday mornings, and I'm going to continue those starting in September. So I've already got a bunch of vlogs done. They're up for August. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, those vlogs will go up Sri Lankan time, about 9 a.m. So every morning they'll be up ready for you guys to watch when you come home. And starting in September, I'm going to do 4 vlogs a week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Live stream on Wednesday and Sunday, Saturday, a day off. And then in October, I'm going to do probably 5 or 6 days a week. We're going to see. We're going to see how much content I can make. Obviously, the first week is going to be huge because every day is going to be content. Traveling around Cebu. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm moving to Cebu for 6 months. So that's going to be an incredible adventure for you guys to join and see what it's like to retire, temporarily retire. And that's the plan. A lot of people don't realize this. And I was speaking to someone just earlier today. When you go on vacation, you don't think about the little things. You're on vacation mode. So you're not thinking about that. When you come home and you say, oh, I really want to go and retire there. And then you show up, you're like, I made a mistake. So that's what I'm here to talk about, to inform you from my experiences, what it is that you need to think about. Now, I had someone ask me, can you do like airport arrivals, visas and stuff? No, because that changes every single day, especially in Thailand, Vietnam is changing. Even Philippines is changing. Like the rules change between cities, right? What you can do in Manila, you can't do in Cebu or in Clark, right? So for me to go into that, it's not responsible, and the blog won't be relevant in 2 weeks. So if somebody's searching for something and they look for that, I could be giving wrong information because it could be redundant. So I want to give information that is timeless. If you want relevant information, there's hundreds of vloggers who are putting out content. I don't want to go down that road, okay? I want to talk about airports. I don't want to talk about hotels. I don't want to talk about taxis. There's 150 other travel vloggers. I'm not a travel vlogger. I'm a lifestyle vlogger. How to find rentals and stuff like that. I'll touch on that a little bit because I do that. And I have some tips. But, for me to go down that road, I don't want to put out content just for the sake of putting out content that is repetitive. And that's what I found with my old channel. If I try to do that stuff, people are not interested in it. I want to create more of a community where we can talk to each other in the chats, in the live streams. I can invite people in. And, if you want to support the channel, buy me a coconut. You can join a membership too. Memberships, we're going to start memberships. We're going to start like exclusive content. We're going to start live chats. We're going to start group chats, maybe even start a WhatsApp group or a Discord group or some kind of group where we can get together and keep each other updated and motivated to get to that last stage of our lives. There's 3 stages. There's a childhood that goes up to, the teen years. Then there's adulthood, and then there's the seniorhood. And the seniorhood is where we are right now. And I'm hoping that you join me in that. And even if you're not, 60, 50 plus, even if you're 20 or 30, I suggest you listen carefully, because we all hear it. I wish I listened. I wish I listened. I wish I listened. I'm giving you, and hopefully all of you who join will share in the mistakes that were made and how you overcame those mistakes so that others can learn. That's what we're here to do. We're here, maybe it's a little entertaining, and I try to be a little entertaining because some of the videos are entertaining, but hopefully we can learn. And that's the most important thing. That's what I think we should try to do. Guys, let me tell you something. I really like this app. Restream. Wow. So much better than the other one I was using. And I hope you like it too. I mean, it looks really nice. It's so easy to use. Obviously you guys who have been following me know I have a new camera, which is an actual 4K camera, not the piece of crap Chinese AliExpress one that I got before that said it was 4K, but it was not even close. And getting ready for Cebu, I'm like so excited. Today I'm taking my laptop. Those of you that know my home setup, I have a laptop that powers my system, and it's a very expensive laptop, high powered, high end. I actually have 3 screens connected to it. Laptop is over there. There's 1, 2, 3 screens plus the laptop. So I have 4 screens. They're 24-inch screens. From a productivity standpoint, I have 1 screen with this, 1 screen with that, and 1 screen with that. Trying to get it onto 2 screens, like wide screens, wouldn't work because I need 3. I need 4 actually. For the amount of real estate that I need 4 screens. I need a lot of space. And for me to buy a 58-inch or 64-inch, that's a ridiculous amount of money to spend. So I have 2 travel screens that I'm taking with me. They're 14-inch travel screens, and those come with their own stands, and I take them with me for the laptop because when I'm traveling, I'm not going to do as much work. I'll still have work, but not as much. I won't have as much downtime because I'll be, going out and doing things. The reason I have such a big setup at home is because this is also entertainment for me. I watch videos, I play video games, I do work, etc. When I'm traveling, I only need a temporary setup, so it has to be mobile. But in the event my laptop crashes, what am I going to do? Well, I have a backup PC here. I can't take my PC with me, so I have like an older laptop that I have. So what I did with that older laptop this last week, it was reconditioned it, reinstalled it, reset it up. Now that thing cannot play games. It cannot do video editing or anything like that. It can just barely do Zoom. So that's all I need it for, until temporarily, because that's my money. That's my lifeline. I don't know how it edits videos. If it can, I hope it can, if it comes to that. Until I can if this breaks down in the Philippines, I can get it repaired, obviously. But then the other thing is I'm planning on, if Lady Sarah is going to come back to meet me in February, I'm going to buy some PC parts in South Korea and have her bring them to me. Not a PC, okay? Everything except the case and the power supply. Those I can buy here very easily, which is what I did when I came here. I took apart my computer and brought the parts, bought a case and power supply here. So, because those are the easiest things to get. It's the imported motherboard and CPU and graphics card that are insanely expensive in Sri Lanka. So using ChatGPT, I calculated out of the countries that I visit, which one has the cheapest parts. And it's South Korea. And I know people there, so it's easiest. Singapore also was good, but I don't have enough time in Singapore. And the next time I'm going through Singapore, other than this trip, I already bought my airline tickets. I don't have enough time to leave the airport and go and to change my ticket so that I have a longer time. Just not worth it, because I don't want to buy a new computer until 2026, end of 2026. And if I can get a good deal in February, then I'll do it in February. Otherwise, when I go back, the plan is that August of 2026, I'm going to go to Korea for a week and then meet up with Lady Sarah and then fly to Vietnam or something like that. And from Vietnam, I'll stay in Thailand over the Christmas holidays, and then in February meet up with her in Krabi, and then from Thailand fly back home to Sri Lanka. So the plan will be starting in 2026 is to do 6 months outside of the country over the winter, the traditional winter. So, I mean, that's still, we'll see what happens. But let me tell you something. Another positive thing, like everything's coming together. Like, so because the other thing is that information on the internet is not always reliable. It's not always accurate. It's not always timely. So I'm part of this Facebook group in Cebu, and I was asking a question. And it's like, come on, like answer my question specifically. That's one thing I don't like. When I ask a question, answer that question specifically. Like, I don't need to give you all of the background information that I have for you to answer the question. The question is, the HSBC ATM in Cebu, what is the maximum allowable withdrawal in pesos? And is there a fee for foreign cards? Someone answers, well, you need to be careful because you have to have 1 million pesos in your account. And I said, in my foreign account? I said, I don't understand. That doesn't make sense. He says, no. If you have an HSBC account. I said, that's not what I asked you. Why are you answering a question that I didn't ask? Like, I understand maybe you're trying to help and give me information, but put that in the beginning, like in the topic sentence. I guess being an English teacher, I get upset when you don't communicate properly. But I asked a specific question, and then someone answered completely different. That annoys me. It so annoys me. I guess that's my OCD. I'm not a great debater, or I guess. I don't know what it is about me. I just don't like it. When I ask a specific question, I want the answer to that question. Don't give me other information. I'm not interested. And I guess I understand their point. They're trying to be helpful and trying to provide information that I may not be aware of. But I said, I've been to Philippines, and I said I've researched online, I've looked, and I can't get this answer specifically. So what I'm looking for is a local, someone who lives there, to tell me your personal experience using this ATM. Oh, I've heard that, that's not, I don't want what you heard. Have you done it? Because I called the HSBC. They're idiots. They don't know what the hell. They're trying to sell me something. And I'm like, no. I just want to know your ATM. Oh, well, our ATM for customers. And is that, no, what is that? Oh, they just back and forth. But I do have to say one good thing about Philippines Bureau of Immigration. Oh my God, the best. I emailed them and instant reply with my answer. I sent like 3 or 4 different emails asking questions, and they were spot on. I have to have a return ticket purchased. Doesn't matter whether it's 30 days or 5 months. I have to have a return ticket. I have to register my arrival 72 hours before online. Most countries do that now. I cannot. The minimum visa extension is 30 days. I leave February 27th, but Lady Sarah says, can we stay till March 3rd? I said, well, that's only 1 week. I'd have to get a full month's visa. Not a big deal. And I'd have to change my flight. Not a big deal. And I might do that because we're not going to stay in Cebu. We're going to go someplace else. We're going to go to Bohol or Boracay for when she comes in February. So I'll talk to her about that when I see her in 41 days. And we'll go over like the plans for the next trip. Because it's a lot easier to do it with her when she's focused, because she's so busy with work and life. So can't do it over text. I hate doing stuff, complicated things. I hate doing over text. It's just not the way I like doing things. So anyway, we got videos coming up this week. Let's take a look at what is coming up this week. The channel is doing quite well. You're watching the videos an average of 5 minutes. That's pretty good. That's very, very good. Watch time per impression. It's low, but it's in the bottom end of the low, not like impossible. Let's see what happened here. What just happened? Reconnected. What happened? Okay, everything looks good on the live stream. Okay, I'm looking at the live stream. It looks good. It froze and then came back. All right. Well, we're back on anyway. Looks like everything looks good on there. Okay. Yeah. So according to ChatGPT, my channel's doing well, and I have you guys to thank. Okay, just please click the like button, click the thumbs up, okay, and then make a comment. I really appreciate it. To you, my loyal followers and subscribers, please click the thumbs up and a comment. That so helps me get the channel out to other people. That's the most important thing. So right now, what do we have? So today, a video went live today, this morning. Talking about what I'll do in the future. Friday is retiring in Sri Lanka. Monday will be retire in Thailand. Wednesday of next week will be retire in the Philippines. And then Friday, the last video of the month, will be how to live stress-free. And then starting in September, we're going to focus more on living lifestyle in Sri Lanka, like cost of living, rent, housing, all sorts of things. My trip to Negombo Beach, going to Bellevue Beach Club in Colombo Port City. We're going to have my dad's birthday. What else? There's a whole bunch of stuff. Talk about banking. And as we get closer to the end of the month, I'm going to talk more about the preparing for the vacation, right? Preparing for the vacation, how I did it, what tools I used, what search engines I used, what booking services I used to find the apartment, how I transfer money, things like that, right? So we're going to talk a little bit more like that. The first week of October is going to be first 2 weeks of October. It's going to be all the day trips I'm taking with Lady Sarah, going to the beach, going snorkeling, going whale shark diving, going to a water park, going to the church, to the historical sites, going shopping, eating. And then after that, it's going to be a lot of content on settling down and living in Philippines, like a daily life, like going food shopping, going household shopping, meeting friends, having dinner, dating, socializing, traveling. Because during my time, I'm going to be having, I'm renting a motorcycle. I have a motorcycle, big motorcycle, not a scooter, big motorcycle. So traveling with my motorcycle friends, I'm going to be traveling around the island. Then I'm also going to be taking a trip to Bohol and to Boracay before Lady Sarah comes, because I'm going to plan on finding a place before she comes, right? Maybe even Palawan, and go there and knock on doors and book a place before she comes. So I'm planning on doing that in November, December. Now it's going to be the high season. I'm trying to do it before the Christmas, but it's going to be, I already seen the trips are like less than $100 to fly from Cebu to Boracay. It's an hour. I could take a ferry boat for cheaper than that, but then it would be like 5 hours on the open ocean. No thanks. You'd have to take a bus and then a ferry boat or whatever. No, I'm not interested in doing that. Well, maybe I would. That would be an adventure. Maybe I'll try. One way, not both ways. One way. But the tools I'll use to do that, right? Because again, what I'm hoping to do is get you to help me monetize this channel. And how I do that is by engaging me. Okay. So that's what I need your help is. I need you to engage with me in the beginning. Please help me out. Okay. Support the channel. Do it by clicking the thumbs up and commenting, and join the conversation. I mean, that's why we're here, is to join the conversation. And if I can get sponsorship from like a VPN, from an eSIM company, from a search engine, then that will help me in developing a business model for this channel, which I'm going to talk about this later about hobbies. I'm not doing this for the money, but there is an opportunity for me to earn quite a bit if this channel takes off and I get what I see others doing who are just like me, right? I did it with the other channel. I had the engagement, but the algorithm was not helping because of why the previous iterations of that channel had screwed up the algorithm. So yeah, getting this taken care of for my future. If I can supplement my pension with this channel, I could retire earlier. I wouldn't have to, the money I make online, and so the money I make from my job is kind of a little bit stressful because my visa is expired or expiring. And I can't work with a few of the companies that I work with because they claim taxes. A couple of the other companies are based in the US, so I'm a freelance worker for them. I have to pay taxes in the United States on that money. But since I'm not a US citizen, I don't pay taxes, right? I pay tax on the money coming into Sri Lanka, but only over a certain amount. So my pay will start to suffer. Now it has been going down because contracts are getting less and less because nobody is doing online anymore, or they're moving away from online. I still have a few guaranteed contracts like the one I'm working right now, but for January of next year, I have nothing in the pipeline. Hopefully something will come through. But a lot of the companies that I've interviewed with don't like me because I'm matter of fact. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And you're going to pay me. And they just don't like that. They can get a cheaper teacher to do what they want for a cheaper price, but they're not going to get a good quality teacher. And I'm not willing to work for less. I'm not. I'd rather not work than work for less, right? Because it would stick me. It would bother me. So that's why I want to focus more on full-time YouTube. So I'm using a lot of tools to help me start the channel off properly. Now, I'm not going to do stupid marketing. I'm not going to do a lot of mistakes that I made with my channel in the beginning. I'm not going to do that. It's all going to be about the back end, the SEO, setting up the channel for sponsors, setting up the channel for members, setting up the channel for merchandise. If you guys want to buy merchandise, that will be starting soon, within the next week. I'm going to have merchandise. I had a store, but the problem in Sri Lanka is that PayPal doesn't work here. Payoneer doesn't work here. A lot of the services don't work here. And I need to move away from my South Korean bank account because eventually that's going to close within a few years. So if I set it up today on my South Korean account and this channel becomes successful, and then all of a sudden I don't have a South Korean account anymore, I'm up craps creek without a paddle. So I want to set it up so that it is all Sri Lankan. Yeah, I'm going to pay more in fees and it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I found a solution. And again, I'm using ChatGPT. Gosh, this thing is just incredible. I tried it with Google like long time ago. I tried it with Google and it just does not provide you the information. It provides you information that you have to now search out. ChatGPT, if you prompt it correctly and it has a database of information about you, it cross-references and analyzes and provides you the right answer. It's incredible how advanced it is. So what else? I am guessing that by end of October, I can have this channel monetized. So not even 3 months. I've seen others do it. And based on the progression of the channel, it can get there. The hardest part is that 4,000 hours. But you guys are watching tons and tons of material. As long as I produce it, you guys will watch it. And that's all I ask you to do is watch everything from beginning to end. I will double check and make sure that if you watch it multiple times, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't add to the hours because it's the same person watching it over again. Let me just double check. So I just popped that into the ChatGPT 5. I love that it takes its time, especially the thinking module. Now there was some reports that it was crashing and not doing right, or they fixed it. I'm not having any issues. And they also allow you to go into the legacy models. But I have a paid license, so I don't mind. They sent me a credit. They said they were sorry for the problems that we're having, and they sent me a credit. I don't care. It's doing what I want it to do. Every day I'm using this. So what it's saying here is watching once and then getting out and then watching the video again counts towards my watch time. So what you should do is go to the playlist and just let that play. Okay, let that play. There's only 2 videos in there now, but eventually there'll be more, especially the live streams because they're an hour long. So if you play the live streams back to back, and then turn off YouTube and then go back in. You don't have to log off or log in. I'm just saying, like, get off my channel and then come back to my channel and watch it again. Don't rewind. That doesn't count. It's per session. So that will help if you really want to do it. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to do that. But there is a limit, I think. And when it comes to monetization, they look at how many unique viewers I have versus how many hours of views I have, etc. They have an algorithm. So we got to work within that. So help me out. Yeah, we're down to like 40, geez, how many days? 42 days. That's like 6 weeks. I'm so excited. I can't, like, the excitement hasn't hit me yet. The exciting thing is that I bought my plane ticket. I picked my seats. Now, unfortunately, because of my change of dates, I can't fly the A350. I wanted to fly the A350 because one flight was going to be on a 787 Boeing, and the other flight was going to be on an A350. Now both on 787 from Colombo to Singapore. From Singapore to Cebu is on a 777 Max or whatever, or the 737 Max, whatever. But that's only an hour flight, so it's not that big of a deal. I did get a bonus. It's so cool. They sent me a message and said, if you'd like to purchase items from the Sky Mall, they call it something else, but from the Sky Mall, you can use your points. And I'm like, I have 26,000 points, which are worth nothing for flights. And I said, yeah, I'll use it. So I got 2 liters of alcohol to be delivered to my plane in Singapore. So I don't have to carry this crap around with me the whole time, which is what I had to do before. I would buy it in Sri Lanka and then carry it with me the whole trip. Now, when I get on the plane, they will deliver it to me at the gate. And I just put it into the carry-on luggage and walk off the plane with it. 2 liters for free. Well, not free, but I didn't spend any money. It was points. Those points are just sitting there doing nothing. What I was planning on doing was in October, use the points to upgrade one of my flights. But now when I go back to Korea in October of next year, I will use the points to buy liquor. Perfect. I'll use them up too. But then I'll gain more points on that flight. This flight will gain me about 8,000 points. And then my next flight, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So there's always points left over, but hey, you know what? You got to use them when you can, right? Points are amazing. They're free. Not the points, but the stuff you get from them is free. I didn't spend money to get the points. I spent money to travel, and they gave me the points. So it's like cash back, I guess you would think about it. If you think about it, I didn't go out of my way to get those points. They were just given to me. So that was a good thing. The other thing is that they had to change my flight by 5 minutes. So they sent me a credit. Well, because I'm flying business class and I'm also a silver level member. And on Friday, they sent me an email. On Friday, I can log in and book the cook, which is one of the most amazing features of Singapore Airlines, is that you can select a Michelin star meal. So when I came from Korea, it's probably not going to be on the short flight from Singapore to Cebu. It'll be on the long flight from Colombo to Singapore. So I have a 2-hour layover, 3-hour layover, and the lounges in Singapore are amazing. I have a student in Singapore. I told him, you're going to come to the airport. We're going to have a class. He laughed. If I had a longer layover, I would have met him. maybe next time. But because I'm going on vacation for the first week, I had to arrive on time. I couldn't delay my arrival. Anyway, um, so from Colombo to, so when I was flying from Korea to Sri Lanka, I would get like lobster and steak. I would choose, and oh, it's incredible. The food was spectacular food, and wine pairings, and they have a sommelier that would pair the wine for you. Oh, on board sommelier. Oh, loved it. I wish I had a transatlantic or trans-Pacific flight where I could take the first class. I've flown first class on Emirates. Wow. I flew the A380 about 12 years ago. They introduced it from the Seoul to Dubai. So I flew Seoul to Dubai, Dubai to Sri Lanka, and then returned. And it was spectacular. I loved it. I was just, and they gave a huge discount. It was like 60% discount for the introductory rate for the new route promotion. Oh, it was a little bit more expensive than what I normally spend, but to experience that flight was just incredible. Limo from my house. On board, you can eat anything you want, anytime you want. Dom Perignon. I have 4 bottles of Dom Perignon. That paid for the flight. Those are $400 bottles. It's a 14-hour flight. I was happy as a camper. I had steak twice, caviar twice, and food. I just ate and ate and ate. And sampling of whiskeys, it was great. I had 2 showers. They have a shower on board. And then when I landed, I purposely booked a 26-hour layover so that I could go into Dubai. My first time, obviously. And I landed at 5 in the morning. They provided me a limo into the city and an apartment. I didn't know that until I landed. And they have a little sign, Mr. Sam. And I said, oh, hi, I'm Mr. Sam. Oh, sir, well, let me take you to your transit lounge where we can prepare for your limo and apartment. And I'm like, what? What? So they provided a limo into the city from the airport to the Burj. And I got an apartment in the Burj for the day. So I went around the city, did my thing in the city, went to, all the tourist attractions. Went up the tower, obviously. Went to Atlantis, went to see the aquarium. I remember I went to the souk, which is the ancient old part of the city. It was wonderful. Then I came back to the hotel and slept in the afternoon, went and had dinner, and then went back to the airport. And again, always with a limo. Took me back to the airport, went to the lounge. Oh my God, the lounge there was insane. Had a massage, and then got on the plane and flew to Sri Lanka. Coming back, we had to sit in Dubai for 3 hours delay because we had to wait for another airplane to come to go to Seoul because it was delayed coming in from Europe. So they're, oh, we're very sorry for the delay. We're sitting on the plane, and I'm like, I'm in first class. I don't care. I'm just sleeping. I had food. I had eats. It was wonderful. I loved it. But that plane was incredible. I was so lucky to do that. But anyway, part of my trip is always flying, and I love it. I've got to book my Silk route at Colombo Airport, which I always love doing. Maybe I'll do gold class again. I'm not sure whether I'll do gold class or not. It wasn't that much of a difference between gold class and Silk route, except the price. Silk route one way is $50 US. Gold class one way is $200. And I don't see the difference, honestly. The only difference was you are escorted to the gate by like 3 or 4 guys, and you look like a baller. And I was when I got escorted, it was spectacular. So you can stay in the gold class lounge, but there was no food. They would provide it for you, but I was all alone and I'm bored. I was like, there's no TV, there's nothing, and I'm like, this is boring. So let's go upstairs to the lounge where I can walk around, I can see people, I can go do a little bit of window shopping if I wanted to. And I had to buy some liquor anyways last time. Won't need that this time. But anyway, so I'm probably only going to do Silk Route. Silk Route coming into the country, oh my God. If you don't use Silk Route at Colombo Airport on arrival, you are missing out. After a long trip, okay, spending $50 US per person to be escorted from the plane to a lounge. Someone goes and gets your luggage. You sit down, you go through immigration like that. Okay. You don't line up at immigration, you just go straight through. You're greeted at the plane, somebody takes you. Then you go to the lounge. What I suggest is after immigration, go to the lounge, put your bags down, your check-in. Then they take your luggage tags and they go and get your bags. That's the time you go to duty free. You do your duty free shopping. Then you come back and then they say, okay, is this all your bags? Yes. This is your bag. This is your, yes. Okay. Then they take it to customs. Customs checks it because it goes through the x-ray. And then you go out a private exit. You're never around people. It's so beautiful. Departing is okay. It's just as good. You go to a private terminal, private immigration, private check-in. Then they take you the back way to the lounge. So you're never around anybody. You don't have to line up or stand in line. So definitely worth it in my opinion, because at the beginning of your trip and at the end of your trip, you just don't want the hassle, right? So that's one thing I will promote is traveling comfortably. People always like, oh, it's just part and parcel of traveling. No. Why do I need a day to recover from traveling? No. Part of the experience in the last 15 years has been flying business class, flying with the perks. Even a domestic route, I will try to get premium economy and like VIP. The last thing I got to figure out is VIP access at Cebu Airport. And there isn't. The service that I saw was like ridiculously expensive. Like $200. Like there's no way. If it's $50, I'll pay that. Because from what I heard is that arrivals, I can't remember. See, the thing is, I've been to so many airports, I can't remember. And you can't film the arrivals area, right? You have to turn it on. And I'm carrying too much stuff. I can't pull out my camera and everything. And then, so I forget what the arrivals process is. And even looking back on my old videos, I can't, I didn't record it or I can't, it's not there. I'm going to go back and look at my Cebu arrival from 2 years ago. Because I landed in Cebu. No, I landed domestic. I didn't land international because I was in Clark and then I took a domestic flight to Cebu. So I didn't experience international. Like 237 pounds. That's ridiculous. Like who would pay that? For a small airport, it's ridiculous. I'm not paying that. Anyway, what are you going to do, right? Gotta have lunch, and then I have classes this afternoon. So I gotta wrap up soon, guys. Yeah, so if I can get it for 50 bucks, yeah, I'll do it for 50 bucks, but not 200. Okay. Sorry, just had to pop something into an email. Anyway, I want to say thank you guys for continuing to support the channel. It's really important that I thank you guys specifically, because without you, it's just me chatting away. And that's what I want to come back to, is that I'm doing this as a hobby. So I'm going to continue the same thing. Darren was saying, don't become a sellout. No. I'm going to continue the same thing. On the side, I'm going to have the support, the financial support. Because if I can do it, then why wouldn't I, right? Why wouldn't I do it? If I can support my retirement, then I can retire earlier, and I can retire faster, and I can retire better. I don't have to wait until I'm 60 for my pension to start coming in. I can retire next year. If this goes well, I can probably retire in mid 2026. From what I have researched and what I've looked online, what I've seen my friends do, and what I've seen other people do who are like me, starting off, I can probably earn enough from YouTube full time to retire probably mid 2026. So by the fall of 2026, I can probably be prepared to take a long-term visa this time next year. So the stress of working online will be gone. I probably won't do it anymore. I'll do it a little bit. Well, we'll see. I enjoy doing it. And the reason why is because you have to have mental health. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about more about not only physical health, but mental health as well. When you're retiring, you gotta take care of the whole package. Mentally, physically, spiritually, socially. We're going to talk about all of those coming soon. Okay, guys? Don't forget, support the channel. Comment, let me know what you want to hear about. Like anything specific and I'll follow up. I mean, again, the channel's still new and fresh, and I can answer every message. Even if you're watching this after the fact, please comment, because that would really help. Yeah, ask me any questions in the chat. It's really important. So we're going to be wrapping up shortly. So don't forget, vlogs every let's change this. Live every Sunday and Wednesday. Vlogs almost every day. Every weekday. Let's change that. There we go. Live every Sunday and Wednesday. Vlogs almost, I spelled that wrong. My spelling is horrid. Almost almost every. Let's get almost out of there. Vlogs every weekday. There we go. See, we'll see you on the other side. That's my slogan. That's the other thing is on the merchandise. I'm going to use the logo, the Sri Lankan Sammy logo. Can I? No, I can't upload my logo. So I have the Sri Lankan Sammy logo and I have my catchphrase, see you on the other side, or learn to live life, don't let life live you. I think that one's a better catchphrase. So on the back, it'll have that. And on the front, on the chest will be the logo, and underneath, see you on the other side. I think that would be good. On the back, it'll be like, say, Sri Lankan Sammy YouTube, right? Something like that, or retire in Southeast Asia YouTube. Yeah, I think that that's what I'll do. Something like that. I don't know. And then I'll do like a hat, golf shirt, t-shirt, a mug. I have a website that, again, ChatGPT really helped research which websites can help me build a storefront and then connect to my Sri Lankan bank account. That's really important. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I want to thank you guys again for joining on the live stream. I know that this is just starting out here on Wednesdays. The Sunday live stream was amazing last week. Wow. Thank you so much for everyone for joining that. I can't wait till this weekend to do another one. Until then, I'm Sri Lankan Sammy, retire in Southeast Asia with Sammy. Always remember, learn to live life. Don't let life live you. Be good to each other. Be kind to each other. And remember, we're not strangers. We're just friends who haven't met yet. We'll see you all on the other side.